Every day, new curiosities about the ending of Cobra Kai emerge. For example, a recently revealed deleted scene shows us what happened to Silver and Kreese, and even confirms that both are alive. I will tell you all about it here. Today on Charlietales, I will show you new secrets from the ending of Cobra Kai. Ready? Let's begin. We all know that John Kreese and Terry Silver died at the end of the season. However, a recently revealed deleted scene changes everything. One of the producers of Cobra Kai, John Hurwitz, posted this photo with all the information about it. According to the producer, they filmed a scene that consisted of showing this magazine with Terry Silver's photo. Below we can see that the press is questioning his disappearance. The magazine was supposed to appear in this scene, where we see a cover featuring Johnny Lawrence with the Sekai Taikai trophy. The deleted scene made it clear that the authorities were indeed investigating Silver's disappearance. But that's not all. Here comes the impressive part. According to the producer, the scene ended by showing John Kreese's hand holding this magazine. They filmed this as a way of telling us that Kreese survived. I'm not making this up. You can read the post on John Hurwitz's official Facebook page. Unfortunately, the scene was discarded. But in the same post, the producer states that both characters could have survived since their bodies were never shown. In fact, recently, the actors who play both characters posted interesting photos on their Instagram accounts. Thomas Ian Griffith posted this with a message saying that Terry Silver is a great swimmer. Meanwhile, actor Martin Covey posted a photo of a lifebuoy. My friends, they are alive. Cobra Kai never dies. In episode 12, Johnny worries about getting a flat tire on the way to the hospital. Carmen responds that it won't be a problem because they can call an Uber. Johnny rejects this idea and says the phrase, never. It's a gamble with those drivers. This is a reference to season 5, where Johnny worked as an Uber driver. At the time, he did a terrible job, and all his passengers gave him a 1-star rating. Johnny knows perfectly well how awful some Uber drivers are, because he was one of those terrible drivers. During Robbie's fight against Axel, we can see Amanda LaRusso getting quite excited while cheering for Robbie. This attitude reminds us of a character from the first season. I'm talking about Xander Stone's mother. In the first season, Xander Stone was introduced as a very talented student who attended the tournament accompanied by his mother. This woman was completely passionate about karate and was always shouting. At that time, Amanda was a calm person and even felt uncomfortable with this woman's excitement. But now, years later, Amanda is the one who is passionate about karate. This subtle detail shows how she has changed over the years. In the final episode, we have a scene where Daniel and Johnny train on the beach. This is a clear reference to the movie Rocky III. In that film, Apollo Creed trained Rocky to defeat Clubber Lang, leading to the iconic scene of both running on the beach. Cobra Kai repeats this idea. There's even a moment where Daniel and Johnny are playing in the water and hug, just like in Rocky III. The final episode itself follows the Rocky III formula. In both stories, two rivals join forces to face a much greater evil. This idea has appeared many times in Cobra Kai. For example, when Johnny and Daniel put aside their differences to defeat Kreese and later Terry Silver. And now, history repeats itself against Sensei Wolf. When Johnny prepares his marriage proposal for Carmen, he shows a rather luxurious ring. He tells us that it belonged to his mother and that he asked his stepfather Sid for it. Johnny says that his stepfather is an idiot, but age is softening him. Johnny's stepfather was played by actor Ed Asner, and we saw him in the early seasons. He treated Johnny quite badly, but he never appeared in the series again. This was because actor Ed Asner passed away in 2021. The ring scene suggests that Sid has changed a bit and is no longer as cruel to his stepson. The production likely had plans to show this character's transformation, but it wasn't possible due to the actor's passing. Before the final, Sensei Wolf harasses Johnny in the locker room. He does this as a way to instill fear in him before the fight. This scene is a clear reference to the first Karate Kid movie. There we also had a similar scene where the Cobra Kai members went to the locker room to bother Daniel. At that time, it was the Dutch who attacked him. As we already know, Terry Silver dies along with Kreese in the yacht explosion. But what's interesting is that this was foreshadowed a long time ago. In season 5, there was a scene where Silver threatened Daniel and said, "You're playing with fire, Danny boy." In response to this, Chosen delivered the line, "And I am gasoline." Boom.
You're playing with fire, Danny boy. And I am gasoline. Boom.
The connection is interesting because Silver died due to Kreese spilling gasoline on his yacht. This caused the explosion. Without realizing it, Chosen predicted Silver's fate. The last episode gives us a very emotional scene of Johnny leaving flowers for his mother at the cemetery. This seems to be a reference to the 2006 movie Rocky Balboa. That story ended with a scene of Rocky leaving flowers for his wife Adrian at the cemetery. In fact, both stories have a certain connection. The last Rocky movie tells the story of how he lives, retired from fighting, but despite his advanced age, he returned to the ring for one last battle. In the end, Rocky proved that a fighter always has a chance for glory. This is exactly what happens with Johnny Lawrence. A long time ago, he stopped competing, and it seemed like his moment of glory was lost when he was a teenager. But despite his age, he got a second chance. And both stories end with the characters leaving flowers for someone who inspired them throughout their lives. The last episodes have titles that connect with the first episodes of the entire series. Episode 1 of Season 1 is called Ace Degenerate. Here we were shown a Johnny Lawrence completely beaten down by life and an absolute failure. On the other hand, the final episode of the entire series is called X Degenerate, representing Johnny's recovery, proving that he is not a loser, as everyone thought. Something similar happens with episode 2 of season 1. It is called Strike First, and it shows the first confrontation between Daniel and Johnny. Here we saw Daniel arriving and threatening Johnny in his own dojo. Meanwhile, the penultimate episode of the series is called Strike Last. This presents the complete opposite. Here, we see Daniel giving Johnny his dojo back, and both show respect for each other. When they show us the Sekai Taikai commercials, we see some scenes from the first Karate Kid movie. However, they also show several scenes that never appeared in the film. For example, this one where Daniel is celebrating with Daryl Vidal. But there are more scenes. For example, this one where we see Johnny handing the trophy to Daniel, but looking quite disappointed. This contradicts the movies a bit, because in the original Fame, Johnny handed the trophy to Daniel with dignity. He even congratulated LaRusso on his victory. We all know that. They also show this short clip of Johnny looking regretful while Daniel celebrates in the background on the stage. This never appeared in the original movie. The Sekai Taikai commercial portrays Johnny as more of a loser than he actually was. This commercial perfectly represents what Johnny stood for in the Cobra Kai universe. To the press and the world, Johnny was stuck with the label of a loser. That's why they barely let him speak in the commercial. Johnny was upset because he recorded an hour-long interview, but they only aired 3 words. With this in mind, the series finale is even more brilliant, as it shows that Johnny proved everyone wrong. There's even a magazine cover showing Johnny holding up the trophy. This makes it clear that to the press and the world, Johnny Lawrence is now a winner. A perfect ending. That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.